My precious child, listen closely because what I am about to reveal to you tonight is something that was meant to find you at this exact moment. This message did not come to you randomly. Among countless people searching, watching, and moving through endless videos, somehow your attention stopped here. Your eyes stayed on these words for a reason. There is a deeper meaning behind this moment, and before this message reaches its end, you will understand something important about a person who has been confusing you for a long time. Someone in your life has been acting differently. They have created distance, they have become quiet, and sometimes it feels like they are pulling away from you. But the truth is, even when they step back, something inside them refuses to let you go completely. There is a connection they cannot easily explain. There is a feeling they continue to carry, even when they try to hide it from themselves. Do not leave before hearing everything, because what you are about to discover may completely change the way you see this situation. There is someone, a very specific person, who has stronger feelings for you than you currently understand. When everything becomes silent around them, when distractions disappear and they are left alone with their thoughts, you are the person who enters their mind. They remember conversations you shared. They replay your words. They think about your reactions, your expressions, and the small moments that others would easily forget. They look for signs from you, even if they would never openly admit it. They may pretend that everything is normal, but deep inside they are affected by your presence more than they want to show. And yet there is something they are struggling to accept. There is one thing creating hesitation inside them. It is connected to the way you appear, but not in the way your mind may immediately assume. Before you allow fear to take control, before you create painful explanations in your imagination, listen carefully, because the reality is much deeper than what you first believe. This is not about being flawless. This is not about fitting into the impossible standards that society places on people. This is not about changing yourself to become someone else's idea of beauty. No. This is connected to something much more powerful. It is about what your appearance represents, what your presence reveals, and what emotions you awaken in another person. If you have ever felt like someone judged you because of the way you look, if you have ever wondered whether someone could truly accept you exactly as you are, leave a comment and remind yourself that your worth has never been decided by another person's opinion. Because the surprising truth is this: the very thing they struggle to understand about you is also the same thing that makes them feel drawn toward you more and more with every passing day. Yes, you heard that correctly. The thing they question is also the thing they cannot stop thinking about. Do not rush away from this message, because the next part may help you see yourself through completely different eyes. This person notices things about you that most people never take the time to see. Other people may notice your smile, but this person notices the emotions hidden behind that smile. Others may hear your laughter, but they can sense the feelings you keep buried underneath it. Others may look at you for a moment and move on, but this person studies the smallest details because those details carry meaning for them, and that is what makes them uncomfortable. Because caring about you feels powerful, it feels intense, it feels like something they cannot simply control. You have a presence that reaches deeper than appearances. Without even trying, you make people face emotions they have spent years avoiding. You remind them of truths they may not be ready to accept. The feature they struggle with is not truly a physical feature. It is the story behind it. It is the emotion connected to it. It is what that part of you reveals about your experiences, your strength, and your journey. Maybe it is the tiredness in your eyes that shows everything you have survived. Maybe it is the way you remain strong even when you are carrying pain silently. Maybe it is the small insecurity you believe everyone ignores, but somehow they noticed it immediately. They saw what others overlooked. They noticed the parts of you that you tried to hide, and that realization affected them deeply because they were not expecting someone like you to enter their world. They were used to simple connections. They were comfortable with conversations that stayed on the surface. They were familiar with people who only showed the easiest parts of themselves. They expected something temporary. They expected something predictable. Then you appeared, and suddenly everything became different. Their emotions became harder to understand. Their thoughts became harder to control. Their usual ways of protecting themselves stopped working because your presence reached a place inside them that they had kept closed for a long time. There are moments when this person looks at your pictures longer than they planned. Not because they are searching for flaws, not because they are criticizing you. They are looking because they are trying to understand why your face creates feelings they cannot put into words. They wonder why your expression stays in their mind. They wonder why your energy feels familiar. They wonder why someone they cannot fully explain has become someone they cannot easily forget. These thoughts keep replaying inside their mind again and again without any pause. And the hardest part for them is realizing how powerless they feel because they always wanted to stay in control of everything around them. But love does not wait for approval before entering someone's heart. It does not ask for permission. It arrives unexpectedly, silently, and sometimes in the most overwhelming way. And now they find themselves caught between pushing you away and finally accepting you completely. But here is the truth that nobody expected. The very thing they struggled to understand about your appearance is actually connected to something much deeper within their own past. You remind them of emotions they buried and tried to forget for years, not because you caused any pain, but because your presence brings back feelings they believed had disappeared forever. That is why they sometimes look at you quietly. That is why they suddenly become silent when they are near you. That is why they appear emotionally affected whenever you are around. It was never simple rejection. It was a mixture of fear, confusion, and a powerful feeling they could not explain. And the moment they finally accept this reality, everything begins to transform inside them. Their silence starts changing, their attitude starts shifting, their actions begin revealing what they have been hiding because deep down, they already understand that replacing you is impossible. No one else carries the same energy you carry. No one else makes them feel understood in the way you do. No one else reaches the hidden parts of their soul the way you have. And even though they are still struggling with their emotions right now, their heart has already been making a quiet choice. Stay until the end because something even more meaningful is about to be revealed. There is a reason you found these words tonight. There is a reason something inside you needed to hear this message at this exact moment. For far too long, you have questioned your own value because of insecurities connected to your appearance. For far too long, you may have believed that love belongs only to those who appear flawless from the outside. But genuine love does not begin with perfection. It begins when someone recognizes something real and meaningful within you. And this person has noticed something rare about you, something unforgettable, something they cannot simply ignore. That is why their emotions keep returning even when they try to create distance. Because your presence remains with them. It stays in their thoughts during silence, during separation, and even during moments when they try to deny what they feel. And tonight, whether you understand it yet or not, something has already started shifting inside this connection. The bond between you is slowly transforming. Their walls are becoming weaker with time. Their emotions are becoming stronger with every passing day. And soon they will have to face the choice they have been avoiding. Will they continue hiding from these feelings? Or will they finally accept the truth they have been fighting against all along? That they truly love you. Not because of perfection, and not despite the thing about your appearance they once struggled with, but in many unexpected ways because of it. And when that realization finally reaches their heart completely, it will become impossible for them to ignore what they feel for you anymore. There is something they have never openly admitted. Something they hide every single time they look at you for longer than they should. And tonight, you are going to understand the reason behind it. Do not skip any part of this message. Because this person appears completely normal around everyone else. They seem calm, collected, and unaffected by the everyday situations around them. But when it comes to you, everything changes. Their emotions become difficult to control. Their thoughts become louder. Their heart starts reacting in ways they cannot easily understand. And the most surprising part is that it often begins with one small detail about your appearance that they cannot stop remembering. Not because that detail pushes them away, but because it draws them closer in a way they never expected. Type yes if you want to understand why they cannot stop thinking about you. Because this connection is much deeper and stronger than you currently realize. Every time they see you, something inside them shifts. They notice things that other people completely overlook. They notice the softness in your eyes when you pretend everything is fine. They notice the hidden emotions behind your confidence. They notice the silent stories your appearance reveals without you saying a single word. And that is what overwhelms them the most, because they know this is not just ordinary attraction. This feels like a deep emotional recognition, something much more powerful than simple interest. Stay until the end because the next truth may change the way you see this entire situation. There are moments when this person tries to convince themselves that they can move forward without you. They keep themselves distracted. They fill their days with activities to avoid thinking about you. They try to focus on other conversations and other people around them, but somehow, no matter where they go or what they do, their thoughts somehow return back to you. Why does this keep happening? Because your appearance carries something they cannot easily find anywhere else. Not an illusion, not a fantasy, not some impossible idea of perfection, but something genuine, something authentic, something real. You feel real to them. And in a world where so many things feel temporary, genuine connection has become incredibly rare. Do you know what truly scares people the most? It is not rejection. It is not distance. It is not even silence. The thing that scares them most is discovering someone who can truly reach the deepest parts of their soul. And that is exactly what happened when they encountered you. Your presence touched emotions inside them that they believed nobody would ever understand. You reached places within them that they had protected for a very long time. And now, no matter how hard they try, they cannot completely escape what they feel. Do not skip this part because something important is waiting for you. This person remembers the first moment when they truly noticed you. Maybe at that time, you thought it was just an ordinary moment. Maybe you believed nothing meaningful happened that day. But for them, something shifted. In one simple moment, they saw something in your appearance that felt strangely familiar to their heart. They saw a quiet sadness. They saw a gentle nature. They saw a strength that did not need to announce itself. And suddenly, without warning, an emotional connection began forming inside them. That is why they look at you differently compared to everyone else. That is why their eyes sometimes hesitate when they see you. That is why their entire energy changes whenever you are near, even when they try to hide it. Because your presence awakens emotions they buried deep inside themselves many years ago. Listen carefully now, because this next part matters more than you realize. The part they find hardest to accept is connected to how strongly they already care about you. If they had no feelings for you, none of this would affect them the way it does. But the truth is, it affects them constantly, every single day, and they are putting so much effort into hiding it from the people around them. Sometimes they create distance because your beauty feels overwhelming on an emotional level. Not beauty in the simple way people usually describe it, but a deeper kind of beauty. The kind that reaches someone's heart without needing an explanation. The kind that stays in someone's thoughts during the quiet hours of the night. The kind that comes back in moments of silence. The kind that has the power to transform someone forever. Stay until the end, because what happens next may reveal something you never expected. Very soon, this person is going to show emotions they have been keeping hidden for a long time. It may not happen through a direct confession at first. It could appear through a small gesture, a message they send, a meaningful glance, or a moment of honesty they never planned to reveal. But when that moment arrives, you will finally understand something surprising. They were never truly criticizing your appearance. They were battling their own emotions internally. They were trying to protect themselves from becoming too emotionally exposed because deep down they already know you are unlike anyone else they have ever encountered. And once someone recognizes a connection like that, it becomes almost impossible to simply walk away. This person secretly worries that you do not completely recognize your own value. They see how often you judge yourself. They notice the insecurities you hide behind your laughter and your confidence. They notice the moments when you step away from attention because you are afraid others may misunderstand you. And every time they notice those things, their feelings become even stronger because your imperfections are what make you real. Your humanity is what makes you memorable. The things you consider flaws are the very things that make you impossible for them to forget. Do not leave yet because the biggest realization is still ahead. When the world becomes quiet and everyone else is asleep, this person keeps returning to one thought again and again. What happens if I lose them? That question stays with them because even with all their uncertainty, even with their fears, and even with their attempts to resist their emotions, their heart has already made a choice. They already know it. That is why your appearance impacts them so deeply. It is not because they see something imperfect. It is because they see something honest, something genuine, something they cannot ignore. You remind them that love is not created by perfection on the outside. Love is created through connection, understanding, and the feeling of being truly seen. And somehow, you make them feel understood in a way they have never experienced before. Share this with someone who struggles with their confidence because of how they see themselves. Something important is approaching because the distance between you is not forever. The silence will not last forever. The uncertainty will not remain forever either. A major shift is coming, and when that moment happens, this person will no longer be able to pretend that you do not affect them. They will stop hiding behind their emotional barriers. They will stop avoiding the connection that exists between you, because some people enter our lives only for a short period of time, but others leave a mark on our soul that remains forever. Whether they admit it today or realize it later, you have already become someone unforgettable to them. That is the reality. They cannot continue escaping it. You were never meant to discover this truth so quickly, but the signs have become too obvious to ignore. There is someone who pays closer attention to your silence than your words. Someone who acts as if they are emotionally detached while secretly becoming more connected to you with every passing day. And tonight, the hidden reason behind their actions is finally beginning to reveal itself. Do not skip this. Stay until the end, because something meaningful is waiting for you. This person has attempted everything to control what they feel. They told themselves it was only temporary. They convinced themselves that maybe they were imagining the bond between you. They tried to choose logic over emotion. But every time they see you, everything they tried to suppress returns again. Because there is one thing about your appearance that they cannot emotionally escape. Not because it creates discomfort, but because it reaches a place inside them that they cannot protect. And the most surprising truth is this. They are afraid that if they fully accept how deeply you affect them, they may never be able to release you from their heart. Yes, that is the secret they have been keeping hidden. Pay close attention now. Every time you enter a room, this person immediately notices a change in the atmosphere. They do not even have to try anymore. Their attention naturally moves towards you. Their eyes search for you without thinking. Their emotions respond before their mind has the chance to control them. And what affects them the most is knowing that you probably have no idea what is happening inside them. You see someone who appears calm and unaffected, but beneath that calmness exists a storm of emotions. Do not leave now, because the next truth can change the way you see everything. The part of your appearance they struggle to accept is connected to your ability to make them feel vulnerable. Maybe it is the gentleness reflected in your eyes. Maybe it is the way you look when you are carrying the weight of difficult moments. Maybe it is the quiet emotion hidden behind your smile. Whatever it is, it creates a feeling of wanting to protect you. And that feeling frightens them more than anything, because when someone begins to care deeply, they also become capable of being hurt deeply. That is why this person sometimes becomes distant without explanation. It is not because their feelings disappeared. It is not because they stopped caring. It is because those feelings became stronger and more real than they expected. And when emotions become too powerful, some people do not move closer immediately. Sometimes they step back because they are trying to understand what is happening inside their own heart. They are trying to regain control over something that already feels beyond their control. The truth is, you reached a part of them that they were not prepared to reveal. You touched emotions they thought they had buried. You awakened feelings they were not expecting to experience again. And that is why your presence stays with them even when you are not around. Your voice, your expressions, your energy, and even the smallest details about you continue appearing in their thoughts. They may try to distract themselves, but the connection keeps reminding them that something meaningful exists between you. They are not only remembering how you look, they are remembering how they feel when they are near you. And that feeling is what they cannot escape. Because sometimes the person who affects us the most is not the person who tries the hardest to impress us. It is the person who simply exists as their authentic self, the person whose presence feels different, the person who makes us feel something we cannot easily explain. And for this person, that person is you.